good to know that, and depending on your disposition, it's good to know the findings of other peeps. It's culturally interesting. Is it necessary? That depends on the individual. Whether or not you're having experiences that pertain to or correspond to these levels of consciousnesses, and there are particular phenomena. So you have the physical body, you have the astral body. These are components of consciousness and perhaps perceptions of levels, but they are nevertheless facts for different people, reality. There's evidence to that degree of certainty that people are, let's say, floating around in their dream worlds and doing things in their dream worlds that often have profound relevance to significance for individuals, right? In one point and in another point, in terms of locations, where you can be perceiving somewhere else exactly as it is. So astral body experiences are part of the scientific sort of archive right now. People have had these kinds of experiences and coincidences throughout history because it's our nature to travel and be more than just the flesh. So it brings into question, just how complex are we? What kind of beings are we if we are having experiences that are not explained by science, by the authorities, the knowers, and so on. So then that sort of points again to mentors and levels of consciousness that you may be ready for, that you haven't experienced, or that you may have already experienced and don't have any validation of. You don't have anyone to speak to about certain kinds of phenomena you may experience because you're not a material being. You're not just the body, right? You are, as I have said before, a space being in a time machine, as I have defined it. So then the implications of that are pretty profound. What does that mean relative to what dimension? So then we bring up the, because of vibrational laws, we bring up the subject of what dimension does one inhabit at what time? So we are multidimensional beings, and we have the potential of experiencing the cosmos, the universe. But again, while it is relatively, say, the fact that people are different and experiencing different things at different times, enlightenment is still the fact that there is nothing to experience but source itself, reality itself, which may be seen as clear light, awareness of itself, regardless of the fact of differentiation, the fact of levels, and the fact of people being where they are, not only as earth beings, but all kinds of beings, imaginable and unimaginable. The vastness is incomprehensible of the event that is called life. It's profound and not easily put into one's perception mechanism or complex of, faculties, especially undeveloped faculties. So it's good to consider the complex field of human experience and where one fits into, let's say, the relative domain. And each person, as you speak to each one, will say they have experience in this area, more or less, and experiences in this other area, more or less, relative to other people. And then you have a person having an experience, one experience, catastrophic experience that was mentioned earlier, shock, and then there's a shift for the moment into a whole other, whatever it is, zone, dimension of consciousness, because there are too many of these dimensions of consciousness to put a number on them. They're infinite levels of consciousnesses. So, infinite possibilities, infinite dimensions of consciousnesses, infinite worlds, infinite beings, and so on. So the vastness is beyond, completely beyond. So you have teachings that approach, let us say, all of these facts of the varieties and the extreme possibilities of different beings going through and getting stuck in or passing beyond certain levels of purification. And one might see everything as a purification, including life, the life birth, and other challenges and karmic situations that come up as part of your purification and teaching or learning. And so we can say everyone is on the path in a very, very general sense, but not consciously in the way that they are ascending. Some people feel that they're going down more, and that's where they are, or stuck, absolutely not moving, and painfully not moving and feeling flow, because they are so in, let us say, the condition of the rock. Right? They are so contracted, so crystallized in their consciousness or situation in life, where they feel totally stuck and painfully so, and need some kind of meltdown to get the flow, some help, some assistance, some love to feel some openness and some like feeling, see, and some motion, because they are then needing the sense of motion, see, rather than being stuck. They need feeling like they have mobility and they have growth, that there's a growing sense for them, that they are, okay and evolving, because that's part of the natural instinct, see, is to feel evolutionary progression. That's part of it. And then you reach enlightenment, there's no such thing. And yet everything continues, because then when you reach enlightenment, let's say, you come to the realization that nothing happens, but yet everything is what it is. So we have to be careful of jumping to a conclusion that is enlightenment, but not one's experience. So, because you don't want to get stuck in a certain kind of dogma, because it happens to be the fact of somebody's enlightenment, which you've then made into a dogma for yourself, which has held you back, because enlightenment may have nothing to do with the dogma of it. See? So it's like we're talking about musical genius, which is at a certain level. You can get stuck in dogmas that there's a way to be there, or there's something about it, see, that you can latch onto and make believe is what it is, and you find out that it's not out and it's not in. See? It's not out and it's not in. It's something apart from and far beyond appearances. So, if there's a truth to it or fact of it. So we have to be careful not to hold ourselves back by being too attached to thinking you can know about something before you realize it or experience it properly. But since that's the way of the world, then people will continue to do that until they are shocked out of it, or they recognize that they have unnecessarily burdened themselves by an assumption that holds them back from the proper flow and the proper realization or proper letting go that is necessary in this very moment for the individual in order to find what they're looking for, which is probably some relief, some balance, some peace of mind, say some sense of, truth for themselves here, now, on the spot, say okayness. That is, it is in fact better to practice letting go in order to know than to assume to the contrary, which is what the intellect might tend to do, to think it knows what it doesn't know, and hold itself back as a result of that particular kind of activity.